I attended Blow Elementary on Benning Road. I remember my mother taking me there. I attended Buchanan, which was around the corner, not too far from here, because back in those days, you just kind of moved. You know, you didn't get any place and stay 15 or 16 years, at least we didn't. We moved. So, and then I went to Smothers Elementary School. But what happened, my fondest memory, and it relates to my profession today that I had no idea about. When I was in the second grade, whenever there was a program in elementary school, the principal would put a note on me, or the teacher that was sponsoring the program, and tell my mother to dress me up because I was going to be the mistress of ceremony. I was never afraid to speak in front of people, and I always articulated, you know. I didn't know it was preparing me for what I'm doing today. I can remember being in high school, Anacostia High School. I'm a native Washingtonian, born and raised here. And I remember that Anacostia was lily white. And they desegregated schools. And I was in one of the first groups to desegregate over into white Anacostia. And I can remember missing the bus one day and having to walk down Minnesota Avenue and hear people call me a nigger or whatever. But you didn't say, "What did you say?" You kept your head straight and you kept walking. You see what I'm saying? Because it was a mindset. And today, when you speak to millennials about it, or people that were not raised in that generation, that it's an insult to them. But I believe that what we went through was a progression for us to get where we are today. Now that we still have problems today, I believe that racism and hatred isn't going anywhere. It's a part of life, and the only way to get rid of hate is to hate. And hate is brewing all of the time, always something. Someone doesn't like somebody, or it does, you know, it's always something brewing, an undertow. And when you think of racism, I have spoken in schools, spoken for the last 40 years. And in schools, they would, we had a turnaround where you had like black schools and white schools, and then we came together. Then you had other cultures coming in, and some schools you can go to, they may have 75 different cultures they're represented in one school. So the way I had to address the young people would be that what I have learned in my time traveling all of these years, that if you go to an all-black school, blacks hate blacks, whites hate whites, Asians hate Asians, Indians hate Indians, Hispanics hate Hispanics, and so on and so on and so on. Then when you get mixed up, you all come together. I don't like this one and I don't like that one. And what I would say to the children is, well, how are you going to talk about who you like or dislike in school when you don't even like your own mother? You won't respect her. You know, just bringing it down to the issues of the heart. Yes, ma'am. The issues of the heart, where truth lies, you know, where they can be reflective of the information that they're getting and look at life a different way. But I say to them that the best is still yet to come, but it's in you. You have the power within you to change the atmosphere that you want. I'm a firm believer that the greatest resource that we have today with our youth, especially in our schools, are our youth. When we can give them a heightened awareness of the value that they have in preparing spaces of safety in their own environment, and be a part of bringing change and seeing a brighter side. But if the blind lead the blind, they both fall in a ditch. So when you go back to hatred and you go back to racism, what we understood is, okay, the white man hates us, but our community loves us. You see what I'm saying? The entire community, they said it takes a village to raise a child. Back then in my day, you would be afraid to do. I can remember really being under a porch with one of my girlfriends, and I cursed. And another girlfriend's father was on top of the porch and heard me and said, "I'm going to tell your mother." My knees were knocking. I was terrified. But today it's just a completely different story. So even though you had the hatred or the unrest and racism, you loved your community. Your community, even though you had less, you had more of the things that money could not buy that were valuable, the non-marketable, the love, the sitting down, eating dinner, and we may have not had the refrigerators running over with food or having everything we wanted or going in there and getting whatever, but whatever we had, it was done with love. And the parents were always teaching character. I think back about when they were looking for the cure for infection, and they found it on a loaf of bread, mold, to make the antibiotic, penicillin. And that's the same way it is today. The bread is still sitting on our table, on our dining room table for our families to be healed. You see what I'm saying? So we were downloaded with things that money can't buy. And that's why we persevered and we're strong. And the DNA of our ancestors that came before us, that's in our lineage, that's in our blood. The strongest of the strong made it across the ocean to put their feet on the shores of America. And we are the descendants of that, even though we had suffered a lot as a people. Look at us now.